Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have Trump regrets to share with you, more FAFO, MAGA experiences. First up is a woman who complained on Twitter, quote, no mass arrests, no Fort Knox audit, no Epstein files, no $5,000 Doge checks, amnesty for select illegals who work in farmlands and casinos, $600 tax tariff rebate is just abuse and insulting. Now a government China-style communistic launch with digital tech ecosystem with OpenAI, Anthropic, Amazon, Google, Apple, and Microsoft. That requires your DNA. Fuck this New World Order BS. And then another woman replied to this one and said, quote, no pulling the plug on the Russia/Ukraine war, now helping fund Ukraine. 5 different stories about Epstein files. No arrests, just blathering lies. No transparency on drones. The most transparent presidency just turned to the oh fuck, I didn't vote for this presidency. That's me. So, yeah, whole lot of people were not expecting what they got. Speaking of which, here's what one man had to say about why he disapproves of Trump's presidency. So take a listen. This was from a recent focus group.
I felt like crime has went up. I felt like I just felt like everything he do is pretty much just it's a waste. The big beautiful bill, just the gas prices, like they say, groceries. I mean, he's trying to get rid of Social Security. I mean, it's just the things that he's trying to do. Is it benefits some people, but in the end, it's just gonna expand crime.
Yeah. So his point was that, you're taking away aid to people, you're taking away their assistance. And so it's going to lead to more crime because they just can't afford to live. And for those on the podcast, that was a swing voter from Nevada. So he voted for Biden in 2020 and then Trump in 2024. This next one comes from a guy named Greg. He was responding to someone gloating over a woman who was arrested. She supposedly assaulted a young man wearing an IDF shirt, which is like, why? Why would you be in America wearing an IDF shirt when they're literally committing a genocide? But anyway, there was a video along with the post. She calmly flipped off the camera, said, fuck Israel, free Palestine, and then she pushes the phone out of his hand. So Greg responded to this post and he said, quote, imagine being such a bitch for Israel that you use the federal government to go after the life of a young white woman while white track stars get murdered by a black in Texas and not a peep from the feds for a hate crime. I truly regret voting for Tel Aviv instead of the USA. I mean, here's the thing. Like the Texas murder was not a hate crime. It was abhorrent. It was a crime, but it had nothing to do with race. As for his thoughts on Israel, though, yeah, I agree. Next is a tweet from a guy named Ben. So he replied to a Pete Hegseth post. And here's what Ben told him. So let me just set this up for you. So Hegseth had posted about Trump's latest moves against Russia. And so this guy said, quote, I regret voting for this clon and Zionist puppet. Another Twitter user replied to an Alex Jones post about how Trump was moving the nuclear submarines closer to Russia. And this person told Jones, quote, I regret voting at all. And then yet another person responded to a tweet that was praising Trump for giving Russia an ultimatum. And this Twitter user said, quote, or what? What the fuck will Zionists own Trump do? I regret voting for him. So obviously, their feelings for him about Israel are bleeding over into how he's dealing with Russia, because these last two posts that they're responding to were about the Russia-Ukraine war, and they're bringing up that he's a Zionist, that things about Israel and so forth. So clearly, not happy with him on the um, you know what should I call it? I guess the international stage, and international international relationships, and how he's dealing with foreign conflict in general. They honestly thought that they were getting an anti-Trump pro-peace candidate. They really did. That this is not what they signed up for. They're not getting what they voted for. And here's the thing: these people, they aren't reflected in the polls. A lot of them, I believe, are not reflected in the polls, and I'll tell you why. Because a lot of them are not registered Republicans. They're independents who either lean right or they don't align with either party. So these aren't the cult members. And that's why this will matter in the midterms, whether they stay home or if they vote for Democrats, whatever the case may be. But, speaking of independents, here's what one of them had to say. This is another Nevada swing voter, and they were asked about Trump's big butt ugly bill that the Republicans had passed a while back. So here's what this person had to say.
Just find it an abomination, offensive that you cut, as much as you did out of Medicaid and SNAP, and you're still going to increase the deficit. That's the most ridiculous thing that just to me is just ego. It's just, it doesn't seem like you even care about the people. Increase the deficit and cut services. That just makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Seems like he just doesn't care about people, because he doesn't. So this stuff is getting through. Little by little, it is getting through. And again, Nevada voters, they're people who, a lot of them are independents. So people who are not reflected in the recent polling. So when you see that Trump is at like 85, 90% approval in the Republican Party, that's because these are not independents. They're not factoring those in. Those are just registered Republicans. A lot of the people who swung for him in this last election are not registered Republicans. But this guy did help to push Trump over the edge in 2024. Next up is someone who replied to an AI Trump account. So the account posted a photo of Trump in the Oval Office, and it said that he's the greatest president in modern history. Yeah, clearly not everyone agrees. So someone replied to this and said, quote, POS, which is piece of shit, and I regret voting for you. So they obviously thought this is a Trump account, which it clearly is not. It's someone else who hosts this account, but they thought they were talking to Trump. This next story comes from the Fortune news outlet. So this is about a man. His name is Josh Smith, and Smith is the owner of a business called Montana Knife Company. So Fortune reported that Smith had ordered, this is obscene to me, but he ordered a $515,000 knife grinder from Germany. I guess that's your business. You gotta pay for, the good stuff. But anyway, so he gets hit with this massive tariff fee of over $77,000. Take a look at this. So Smith voted for Trump, and he explained that he would love to purchase a U.S.-made machine, this $515,000 machine, but he said there are only two companies that make these machines, and they're both in Germany. Yeah. Also, the company that he used to purchase all of his steel from, They declared bankruptcy last year, and now all of their assets have been purchased by a Swedish business. So Smith said, I'm kind of lucky because he purchased a year's worth of steel in advance because of the tariffs. But as of 2026, he's going to get hit with that increased cost because he'll be out of his excess materials at that point. And so he told Fortune that tariffs might prevent or delay business decisions. Smith said, quote, let me bring this up for you. The average American is not sitting in the position I am, looking at the numbers I am, and making the decisions each day like, hey, we cannot hire those extra few people because we might have to pay this tariff on this steel or this tariff on this grinder. I want to buy more equipment and hire more people. That's what I want to do. Yeah. So not going to be able to at this point. Stalling out the economy. Isn't that what everybody voted for? Accidentally. All right, guys, I'll have more for you next week. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.